Just look at this beautiful brown skin. Now, at which point did brown skin become associated with words like bad or ugly? Now, there are a lot of troubles or problems with that mentality, but one of the biggest ones in my eyes are when people of color start to believe it themselves. Hi there everyone, it's Zanele Njapha, the Unlearning Lady. Welcome to the ReImagine Africa series. So this is a video series that I create to help Africans, whatever that means to you, to come back into their power by introducing a few key mindsets that are important for Africans to unlearn as we relearn becoming Africa the superhero. Africa the superpower we know we can be. So today's mentality is exactly that. The idea that brown skin is associated with being bad or being less than or being inferior in any kind of way. This one is really deep, guys, and it reminds me of a conversation I had with my goddaughter. She's the cutest little thing, and she has paler brown skin, so it's a little lighter, something similar to what I have. And we were having a conversation about skin color, and I said to her, after she'd made a comment, I said to her, you know what? All the shades of brown are beautiful, and brown skin is gorgeous. And she said to me, you know what, Zanele, I didn't know that. And I thought, isn't that interesting that you would have to even know that unless you were taught otherwise? And that's when I realized it's important for us as Africans to start to detangle this mindset if we are ever going to move forward as Africans who collaborate, as Africans who spread love, who have conversations about change and reform. It's important that we start to see brown as beautiful. Welcome to the second episode of ReImagine Africa. Okay, so every episode that's part of this series is split into 3 parts. The very first one is raising our awareness, being aware of what the issue is, looking deeper into the issue in an objective way, as objective as we can be, because some of these issues can really hit close to home, especially if you're African, whatever that means to you. African with brown skin, African with skin that isn't brown, it doesn't matter. If you're African, this series is for you. Part 1 is always about raising awareness. Part 2 is about action. What can we do? What's the change? What's the thing we need to relearn? And then we end off with 3, keeping it going. What are the things we can do to keep it consistent? What are the things we can do to make sure we're always moving with this change in mentality? Because a change in mentality is really, in essence, a change in behavior. And behavior change is never really easy, but it's something we need to do if we know we deserve better. So let's get started. Number 1, raising our awareness. Goodness gracious me. One of the ways we can raise awareness around this is to ask the questions of when it happens. When have you been in situations where you felt like your brown skin or someone else's brown skin makes them less than in any way, or is not as beautiful as something else? Now, this is not an opportunity for you to judge yourself or to judge others. Let me say that again. This is not an opportunity for you to judge yourself or to judge others. This is an opportunity for you to self-reflect, to be a little bit more introspective about where this is coming from and how you can work through it. Because remember, as Africans, we need to work together to unravel these mindsets. So awareness is really that. You can ask yourself the questions, when has it happened? When have I noticed it? How does it make me feel when I come across this? And also, what's the cost? What is it worth really to have this mentality or this idea? And what do I stand to gain from harboring, carrying this mentality, and then unlearning it? What are some of the benefits that come to me as an individual when I start to break out of the shackles of seeing my brown skin as less than beautiful and gorgeous and godly? Okay, So I got a bit passionate there, but that's the point. Okay, so we move away from awareness then. And let's come to the second one. Action, action, action. So with this one, what I suggest we relearn is two things. We need to relearn, one, educating others, but also embracing ourselves. Now, let me explain. The first one is educating. Think about the example I shared with you a little bit earlier on about my goddaughter and how I had a conversation with her that really was an eye-opener for her as someone who found herself in a very tricky situation, especially around her thoughts on brown skin. So the first one is educating. And educating could be opening up your experiences to people who may not be aware that people are experiencing what you are experiencing. Or even if you're on the other side of that, then it could be allowing yourself to be educated. Open yourself up to learning about experiences from people with brown skin and what that feels like and what that looks like, and when they've been in situations where they've had to feel that or go through it, and then also have conversations around how you can move forward together with those mentalities and with that education in mind. And then the second part of really the action is embracing. And goodness, this one is possibly the most important one, but it's the biggest work I find is needed to be done for people with brown skin like myself, is to embrace. And this embracing, obviously, one of the ways that it becomes something that's difficult is when your context doesn't allow it. When your context is saying that brown skin is bad or brown skin is ugly, it becomes even harder for you to embrace it. But this is what I want to challenge all of my beautiful brown skin people to do, to embrace that beautiful, beautiful sun-kissed skin of yours. So that's the second part of action. So challenge yourself to do those two things, educate and embrace. Now, the last part of these videos as part of the series is always keeping it going. What are the things that we can do so that it's always something that keeps going on and on and on, and it's a change that lasts? And that is the very last thing that we can do to keep it going is be billboards. Now, I always use this concept when I speak to teams that I work with consistently, is be a billboard of the change. Don't just educate, don't just embrace, but live the change, because the best way, they say, to teach people something is to be the example. And that's the best way we can change the narrative around our brown skin and what it means, what it can achieve, and what it represents to us and for us, is to be a billboard. And this is not just for people with brown skin, but those of us who are African and don't have brown skin. We all need to be billboards in the way that we speak, in the way that we act, and in the way that we behave, which is similar to acting. But it's all about how we carry ourselves that will preach the narrative of brown skin being beautiful, being worthy of love, and being worthy of being embraced. And so that's the way that we can keep this going. This mentality mustn't die, because if we just do the actions once off, then the mentality won't be unlearned. It will just be something that's cute every now and again, but it won't last. And in order to make real change happen, we need to make it last. And that means choosing it every single day, making the choice to be a billboard for how beautiful brown skin is. And I love the conversations that are going on social media and so many other places around embracing and celebrating our beautiful brown skin, and how being African it means so many different things. Being African is diverse. It doesn't just mean having brown skin, but being African means all sorts of things. And if we can embrace that, then we're in a better position to really become Africa, the superpower we know we can be, and really stepping into that gloriousness and that beauty of Mother Africa. It was an absolute pleasure speaking to you on this episode of ReImagine Africa. I look forward to seeing you again on our third series episode. Look after yourself. Stay beautiful. Bye for now.